Last time on Hakai. Upon Goku or Turles and his brother clearing things up with King Vegeta, it was announced the pair will participate in the summer tournament to see if they're worthy. Back in the present, Piccolo and the others ventured to the Celestial Fortress to discover the identity of Yamoshi as none other than Vegeta's ancestor. The final minute. As night falls over planet Vegeta, the squad gathers around a glowing campfire. After all the wild confusion caused by Goku, or rather Turles, on his first day on the Saiyan homeworld, things finally begin to settle down. Recounting the events of the day, Bardock explains that King Vegeta decided to give Turles a chance. However, he must fight in the summer tournament and perform well, or he'll be executed. Revelation that shocks Gine. Executed! Turning to our hero, who's completely unfazed by the threat of death, she asks if he isn't even a little nervous about that. The standards to please the king aren't exactly low. Smiling confidently, he replies, "Nah. He's gonna train hard and do great." Taking a bite of his food, Bardock grumbles the worst part of this is the king insisted he himself participate too. Orgos wants to know why he's upset about that. This tournament's a great opportunity for they low-class soldiers to prove their worth to the king. Faja, pausing with her chopsticks, smirks she's entering too. She's sure she's got the power to be the captain of her own team. But the higher-ups just haven't seen it yet. If she wins the tournament, she knows she'll get promoted. Sugas chimes the cash prize is nothing to scoff at either. But turning away, his eyes closed at the thought, Bardock states he doesn't care about money or getting promoted. Tor adds that even so, it'll be fun having Bardock in the tournament. Boasting that way, he can beat him and become this team's captain. Who tells him to keep dreaming? Our hero beams, so they're all entering too? That's awesome! Which triggers a fierce, unified reaction from the rest of the squad. The entire group roars they're gonna kick his butt in there. Goku, putting his hands up, pleads, "Relax, guys. What happened earlier is in the past, right?" Met only with a silent, piercing glare from Faja. Clearly, Bardock's squad feels they have something to prove. Turning the attention, Faja asks Gine what about her, suggesting she relive her old soldier days and join. An idea she firmly rejects. She's fine with just the way she is, thanks. Catching himself before making things awkward, Goku questions, "You were a warrior too, Gine?" Tor confirms that yes, Gine was part of their squad. But she was too peaceful for the battlefield, and always got into trouble. Bardock was always the one rescuing her. That's how the two of them fell in love. Cueing the squad to relentlessly mock their captain. "Oh, Bardock, thank you for saving me for the 1,000th time with those big, strong, manly arms. Oh, Gine! My love for you makes me stronger every day. Wanna have a baby with me?" Unable to take it anymore, he explodes. "That's not how it happened! Stop this nonsense!" The entire camp erupts into laughter. While Goku just chuckles at the sight, Gine does her best to take the ribbing in stride. The fire crackles quietly into the night. Stepping away from the group, Gine calls out, "That's right. She forgot to thank him for saving him from that energy attack from Bardock." Our hero corrects her. He thinks he's the one who should be thanking her for jumping in front of him. Then, letting his curiosity show, he asks, "By the way, why'd you do that, ma'am?" Looking away with a slight blush, Gine stammers out, to be honest. Even she doesn't really know why. Inside the restaurant, she saw his face and thought he looked a lot like Bardock, so she got curious. A little more serious. When I saw Bardock shoot that attack at you. She doesn't know. For some reason, she felt like she had to stop him. On the inside, she knows that the real reason is that she felt an overwhelming urge to protect this guy. Like her deepest instincts wanted to defend him. So she jumped in front without thinking twice. She truly has no idea why. Before adding, but hey, she tells Goku he doesn't have to call her ma'am so formally. They're probably around the same age, right? She thinks he may be even older than her. Realizing a slip-up, our hero laughs, "Oh yeah, you're right." She recalls he said he came from the desert, inquiring where he plans to stay and support himself. Goku admits he hadn't really thought about that yet. Guessing he'll have to live on the streets and hunt in order to eat. Approaching with heavy footsteps, Bardock firmly declares, "No way." Staring him down, King Vegeta placed him under his responsibility. So he can't let him wander around doing random stuff. Fortunately, there's a house available for rent near theirs. He can stay there for now. And to make some money, he can work with Gine in the restaurant. An offer that sounds good to our hero. Almost blowing his cover again, he starts. "Thanks a lot for the help, Dad. I mean, brother." Letting out an exhausted sigh, Bardock states they also have to do something about those clothes. He can't be walking around in a criminal gang's uniform. Turning to his wife, he orders, "Gine, grab one of my outfits and give it to Turles." Agreeing happily. Moments later, she beams. "Wow, it looks really good on him." Turning to her grumpy husband, she asks, "Don't you think so, Bardock?" Who simply dismisses the question. Checking himself. Goku admits it's not really his favorite type of outfit, but not hating it either. He guesses it doesn't look bad. Cutting through the lighthearted mood, Bardock demands Turles listen carefully. He needs to make sure he prepares properly for the summer tournament, because his life, and maybe even his own, depends on it. The captain asking if that's clear. Saluting, Goku barks back, "Yes, sir!" Before immediately correcting himself again. "I mean, alright, bro." As Gine cackles in laughter. Her husband finds little enjoyment out of all this. Meanwhile, back at the Celestial Fortress, our other group stands before not only the Celestial Leader, but two Celestial Guardians, one of which bearing a particular name. Gohan's left completely stunned. Trying to wrap his head around this, he stammers. "Wait a second, your name is Vegeta? Like the one I know? But at the same time, you're called Yamoshi too." Taking a second to process this. He doesn't get far, essentially begging for someone to explain. Piccolo apologizes for rushing introductions, but they have a lot to do. Getting straight to business, Piccolo asks, "What now?" The leader instructs that Majin Buu and Noob will go with Endor. He'll instruct and look after them. The Celestial Mages will still want to capture the both of them since they're part of Zarat. Turning to the Half Saiyan, he adds Gohan will stay with Yamoshi, who already has the right training plan for him. And for the Namekian, Piccolo states, "And Piccolo, you'll come with me. I have a very special task for you. Promising that once their journeys are complete, they'll meet here again. With the plan set, the longtime friends shake hands. Telling his pupil he'll see him next time, urging him to get really strong. A sentiment Gohan echoes. You too, Mr. Piccolo. Turning to Majin Buu.
And as for you, Majin Buu, behave yourself.
While Gohan cheerfully adds he should get really strong too, prompting a simple, happy, okay, from the Majin. Taking to the skies. The warriors split up to begin their divine training, leaving Endor with Majin Buu and the sleepy noob. The angel kindly asks Mr. Buu to please follow him, revealing he's prepared something he thinks he's really going to like. As Endor leads his new students through the fortress, the Majin spots something that immediately grabs his attention. Food! Mowing down, Endor can't help but laugh. As the Majin ravenously tears into the banquet, the angel urges, eat up, because this is some very special food. With Gohan and Yamoshi, the ancient warrior informs,
This is where we'll be training.
Taking in the breathtaking view, this is the mythic forest. Gohan beams, wow, this place looks amazing! Instructing him to follow. The ancient reminds he'll have plenty of time to admire this place later. Touching down, Gohan's newest master declares they can start right here. Who wants to know something? What should he call him? Does he prefer Vegeta or Yamoshi? After a short pause, he answers. You can call me Yamoshi. Vegeta was his king name, which he obviously is no longer. Accepting this, the half-Saiyan nods. Alright then. Well, Mr. Yamoshi. Curious, he beckons if he could tell him more about himself, who bluntly cuts him off with a harsh, sorry. He states he doesn't go around telling his whole story to people he doesn't know. Maybe some other time. Yamoshi thinks they should get started with training, which is fine with a student. The sooner the better, right? Bringing his hands to his mouth, the former king lets out a loud, piercing whistle. Confused by this, the Guardian reveals he wants to call his new training partner. Suddenly, something comes rushing through the sky. A little dragon, much like Icarus. Perching on Yamoshi's wrist, he tells this is Hakai, Gohan's first training partner. In the meantime, Piccolo takes Piccolo to a large cave in a more isolated region of the planet. Approaching the ominous entrance, a glowing portal hums from within. The Guardian beckons, come on, Piccolo. It's through this portal that his journey begins. The Namek remaining determined. The pair enter, only to be met with a sight that leaves him paralyzed with shock. He can only stammer out, "But what does this mean?" as we pan out to reveal a barren wasteland, the parallel dimension of the celestial world, the desert of Perdidion.